Coming out of Kosovo, I got selected to be the division command sergeant major, and I served with a previous commander for about 7 months, and then we had a change of command, and then General Petraeus came in and inherited me as his division command sergeant major, and that's where it happened. That's where the marriage began.
We were together when I was the commander of the 101st Airborne Division, and he was the senior enlisted member of that organization, senior non-commissioned officer, the command sergeant major of the division when we did the initial operation in Iraq in 2003 and 2004.
In March of 2003, when we were getting ready to go across the berm into Iraq from Kuwait, and you know, being in the Air Assault Division and possessing the number of helicopters that we possess, and you know, and the general's primary mode of travel is through, you know, UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter, and there was an expectation for me to be traveling with him as we crossed the berm into Iraq, and I chose to cross the berm into Iraq on a ground assault convoy with the units that was going to have the most difficulty getting into Iraq. And when he asked his aide, hey, where's the sergeant major going to travel on the aircraft? And they said, sir, the sergeant major is moving forward on the ground assault convoy, right? And he said, at that point, he get it. And when one of the brigade commanders came to General Petraeus as we entered Iraq and said, thank you for sending the sergeant major with me. He provided that calmness, that leadership from the division, and it encouraged our non-commissioned officers and gave them confidence to do the mission. And General Petraeus said he get it. I was
Privileged, very pleased that he would agree to come back when I was named the commander in Iraq during the surge. So we did another tour there. That was, I think he did another 18 months or so. While
we're in Iraq, General Petraeus gets nominated to be the commander of U.S. Central Command, the commander, you know, oversee the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, as well as 18 other countries in the area, right? And after he was nominated, he said, you know, pending confirmation, are you willing to take another ride with me?
Suddenly, surprisingly, I was asked to come out here by President Obama. My first call was, after my wife, was to Sergeant Major Hill to ask him if he'd be willing to do it one more time. And he did. Non-commissioned officer, finest senior enlisted advisor I know, and he's the one whose advice I want when I'm in a position like this.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Major.
Oh, Captain McKay.
Yes, sir.
He's
the real deal. Sergeant Major.
He's the real deal?
He's the real deal.
Sergeant Major Hill gives energy. Wherever he goes, our troopers feel great after they've talked to him. He is truly an inspirational leader.
You remember how I did you? Right. I put it in the hand, I shook your hand, and I said something cool to you, right? Huh?
Where you from, First Sergeant?
Where am I from? I'm from Missouri.
Is it nice there?
It's beautiful.
What do you do, First Sergeant?
I'm your first sergeant.
Thanks a lot. Sergeant Wheeler, give him a hand. Yeah. He done good. We have this term we call expanding the impact. And General Petraeus, he sees me as one that can expand his impact. I don't think there's any better schools in our Army than this one you got right here. Right, so if you're gonna learn your job, you learn it here. He can't be everywhere at one time, although he has a great staff that tries to put him in several places at once, but it's just impossible. Right, but if he's south, I'm north. If he's east, I'm west.
Beyond that, he's a source of great advice. He oozes common sense. And there are some thorny issues out here concerning how we work to take care of our soldiers, decisions that commanders have to make on the battlefield. And I obviously value his advice enormously, and I have routinely followed it because it is, again, founded on experience, on good judgment.
Marvin Hill is not here because General Petraeus like him. It is what I can bring to the fight and how I can expand his impact and then in turn give energy to those 145,000 troops that's out there.
And I think that's what I value most. Our troopers, I think, would say that they value the energy, the example. He's a standard bearer as well as a standard enforcer.
Yes, I have a role and a responsibility to the 100,000 U.S. troops, to the other 45,000 coalition troops, right? But I still also have a responsibility to our young African American men and women, right? Because when General Petraeus stands in front of them, they can't see themselves. A Caucasian, male, 4-star general, right? But when I stand in front of them, they can see themselves. And I want them to see someone that's ethical and someone that's trying to do it right and be a good role model for them.
There's some folks out there that just don't have a clue of the challenges that you have here, the things that you've gone through day in and day out, and how hard Afghanistan really is.
It's not about me at this point. It's about these troops, right? And it's about, you know, expanding my boss's impact, expanding his day.
On behalf of my boss, this guy named General Petraeus. Anybody ever heard of him? Right? Who have him, right? On behalf of my boss, General Petraeus, and all the folks that's up north in Kabul, serving in the ISAF headquarters, I just wanted to tell you guys thanks for a job well done.
He's just a wonderful, wonderful command sergeant major, and again, it's a privilege to have him as a wingman for yet another mission in combat.
You know, every time somebody do something, you say, well, back in Afghanistan, we didn't do it. At that point, they're gonna punch you as far as they can see.
So let me see. You know, that's Sergeant Major Hill.
There's no cameo appearances for me. So when I'm here eating chow with you, breaking bread with you, talking with you, I'm on a fact-finding mission for General Petraeus.